This is a song by a songwriter called Connie Converse, who she's kind of a musical cryptid, honestly. She kind of invented the sort of singer-songwriting thing that I do in like the mid 1950s, and then literally disappeared. Just kind of
Oh.
wrote a letter to her family and was like, bye, and has not been seen since.
Oh.
But she has one album, another like, I don't want to say posthumous, but it was the 70s when she disappeared. Certainly, released by her estate. But very sophisticated, very impressive, and a lovely low contralto, which I always admire. So this was her breakout hit. It's called Talkin' Like You. In between two tall mountains, there's a place they call lonesome. Don't see why they call it lonesome. I'm never lonesome when I go there. See that bird sitting on my windowsill? Well, he's saying whippoorwill all the night through. See that brook running by my kitchen door? Well, he couldn't talk no more if it was you. Up that tree, there's sort of a squirrel thing. Sounds just like we did when we were quarreling. In the yard, I keep a pig or two. They drop in for dinner like you used to do. I don't stand in the need of company with everything I see, talking like you. Up that tree, there's sort of a squirrel thing. Sounds just like we did when we were quarreling. You may think you've left me all alone, but I can hear you talk without a telephone. I don't stand in the need of company when everything I see is talking like you. See that bird sitting on my windowsill? Well, he's saying whippoorwill all the night through. Just whippoorwill all the night through. In between two tall mountains, there's a place they call lonesome. Don't see why they call it lonesome. I'm never lonesome, now I live there.
That was beautiful.
They're the same shape. It's very tricky. And they're fun to play.
Yeah.
She seems like she would have been fun to hang out with.
It's a very
She
different
seems-
different chord progression, and I've never heard like that kind of
She's got this one song called I've Considered the Lilies, which is my white whale. It's just all over the place. If I get it, I'll let you know.
She seems like
Yeah,
a great
dude.
person to like sit on the other side of a room from
And
and
that's-
just be in the presence of.
That's the fun thing about her is she was active in the early 50s.
Wow.
And she was on TV like once, but kind of there wasn't a folk industrial complex at that point.
Right.
But I think kind of not similar to Lur, she had a small cadre of enthusiastic, tech-savvy fans. And so a lot of the album that is out now is just home tapes of like house concerts that she did.
That's so cool.
So she can live on the long tail, as they call it. If you have 1,000 true fans, it's like you can basically like you can have a living off of those 1,000 people
Yeah.
as long as they're willing to give you $100 a year, right? It's like
I
you
mean,
can
she
live an
didn't make a
extremely
living on
comfortable
it.
life.
That's the tragedy of it is she went back to just private sort of civilian life. And then right after she left, Bob Dylan came in and exploded that whole scene.
Ah,
Yeah,
what was her name?
Connie Converse.